Roblox is one of the most popular gaming platforms in the entire world. Since its foundation in 2006, this site has been the home of an uncountable number of players who, in seek to escape from boredom, have entered this seemingly infinite inventory of games, willing to have fun, and putting their trust in Roblox to not only provide them hours of entertaining, but security as well. And despite being a platform intended for a younger audience, this hasn't precisely avoided Roblox from witnessing rare, disturbing, or even dangerous events inside its games. Many of these events being only disturbing, but others actively putting in danger their young player base. Truth is, the nature of Roblox can change drastically, and today, we are here to view those times where the innocence and security morphed into something more dangerous and bizarre. It's not the first time I do one of these in this channel, but for the better or for the worse, the amount of these bizarre events is so huge. There's more than enough to classify them in a conspiracy iceberg. And today, we'll be witnessing the horrors this blocky place tries to hide. Because today, I present you the complete Roblox mystery iceberg. Roblox is no strange to hacking attacks. More times than you'd think, Roblox has been threatened by one or many hackers. And despite not being nearly the most dangerous one, the 2012 April Fool's incident is by far the most famous and remembered hacking incident ever lived on the Roblox site. As the name indicates, this hacking incident took place on the 1st of April, 2012. It all started thanks to a user named Elernate, who discovered that, by creating an account with the same username as the one of a moderator on one of the, by then, public Roblox test sites, he could gain access to the moderation panel, and by default, have control over the rest of the accounts on the site, and the site itself. With this newfound power, Elernate, with help from a few friends of him, messed with Roblox's website, until Roblox finally found out about what was going on, which happened later that evening. Truth is, despite being able of doing almost anything, Elernate and his friends' actions were pretty harmless, since all they did was messing with the site's banners, posting weird stuff with important accounts, and attempting to get limited items and as many Robux as possible, which never happened. The only real, quote-unquote, damage they caused to the site was messing with the economy of Roblox by changing the prices of many items. If you are interested in a deeper explanation of the events that unfolded in this fateful day of Roblox's history, I already have a video explaining it in more detail. Just know that, despite what it seems, the April Fool's incident, as it is remembered, was not nearly as dangerous as many people claim. Due to the April Fool's incident, and also thanks to the myth trend that flooded Roblox in 2017, hackers have always been a popular theme on the Roblox site, and due to this, many users have taken advantage of this trend by claiming to be hackers, and also giving a date where they would supposedly hack Roblox, and of course, 99 out of 100 times, This turns out to be a fake made with the only intention to trick the younger player base of Roblox, and also, getting attention from many users. The most famous example of a fake hacker would be John Doe. Johnny the Chad Doe is an account made by Roblox themselves to test the site during its early era. The account had no other purpose than that. But for some bizarre reason, many users started to claim that this happy fella was actually an extremely dangerous hacker who would come back and destroy Roblox on March 18, 2017. And of course, this turned out to be a fake. Another famous example of fake hacker would be a backgrounder one, also known as Jenna. Jenna was a character in a Roblox series called The Odor. Her role in the series is that of an odor, and to those who don't know what an odor is a term used to refer to those players who try to start a romantic relationship through Roblox. Jenna spends most of her time on screen being a creepy odor who stalks the main character, Z. Maybe due to her creepy nature. People started for some reason to believe that this character in a random Roblox series was actually a very dangerous hacker who seeks to destroy Roblox. Although it was said she would only hack women.
Hello? Base department?
Damn, this girl has her eyes on the prize. Anywho, just like with John Doe, it was she would hack Roblox in a certain date, but in the end, Jenna's devilish plan of women segregation in Roblox was never carried out.
Hey Jenna, aren't your actions a little sexist?
Shut up, woman!
Maybe she couldn't find any. Just like these two, there have been many fake hackers who claimed that they would hack Roblox. And although not all of them, most of them turned out to be faker. So for the love of Builderman, next time you see a Roblox TikToker with a scary skin claiming that they are gonna hack Roblox, please, don't take their threats so seriously. The Roblox forums were, as the title says, a bunch of forums where many Roblox users could interact with each other. These forums were active since the day Roblox was created in 2006, and finally closed on December 14, 2017. During its lifetime, the forum served as the main place where different Roblox users, some with better intentions than others, got to meet other people with similar preferences as them. Truth is, despite being intended to be a safe place, to bond the community closer, that didn't stop it from being a site where many terrible incidents took place. Cyberbullying, raids, threats, and even illegal material were things that you could witness when entering this place. To this day, the debate about how truly good the forums were is still on. And even if they actually bonded the community together, it's also true it allowed dangerous users to raise their voice, users who, with other much bizarre intentions than just meeting people, would use the forums as a method to spread their harmful ideas or intentions. If you want to know more about this hellhole that once existed in the Roblox community and its rare occurrences, I already have a video talking about it. Unless you've been living under a rock for over a decade, you'll know who PewDiePie is. What you may not know is that this extremely popular YouTuber was actually banned from Roblox. And not for a proper reason. On 2019, PewDiePie attempted to make a stream playing Roblox in order to stop T-Series from surpassing him in subscribers. The stream went pretty well, and even PewDiePie's starter place managed to become one of the most popular games on the site for a few hours. However, for everyone's surprise, PewDiePie's account got suddenly banned. PewDiePie tried to resume his Roblox stream, but he was unable to do so. At this point, it was clear Roblox had something against PewDiePie. Since many users started to report that they had been banned from Roblox for the terrible crime of mentioning PewDiePie's name. When asked for an explanation, a Roblox staff said that the reason behind PewDiePie's ban was that Roblox considered PewDiePie to be a harmful user for their community. That's literally all they said about it. It's kind of baffling to say the least that many YouTubers who have been proved to be children seekers, such as Kaneko Kitten, Ribs, or Notive, still get to keep their accounts, and even their groups. While PewDiePie, one of the chilliest guys on the internet, got witch hunted for such a dumb reason. In the extremely rare case a Roblox admin is watching this. You see, children seekers tend also to be pretty damn harmful to say the least. Luckily, this story has a happy ending. Since PewDiePie's witch hunt seems to be over today, this dude that he has been able of playing Roblox in more recent times without being banned. The Chipotle event was an incident that took place on October 30th, 2021. And many who despise Roblox tend to use such event as an argument to prove how truly terrible Roblox as a site is. And to be fair, this event really doesn't make Roblox look all that well. Basically, during October 2021, an event was going to be hosted on Roblox's site. This event was your typical event with Roblox collaborating with a famous brand, in this case, a famous Mexican fast food chain restaurant. In this event, many prizes were being given as usual. However, right before anyone could test this event, the site suddenly was down. Roblox is far from perfect and has been down many times. But what makes this one special is the amount of time it took Roblox to regain control of their own servers. 73 hours. Basically 3 entire days where the Roblox site was completely inaccessible for everyone. This was the longest period of time the site had been down since its creation in 2006, and the worst thing is that, the days the site was down, were during the weekend. Many speculated what kind of issue could have caused such event. And that's when many speculated that it was in fact, one of the prizes given during the Mexico fast food event, what made Roblox go down for 3 whole days. Despite Roblox clearing the Chipotle from being the cause of such humiliating incident, that didn't save them from many users making memes about it. The Chipotle event, as it is referred, is to this day, the greatest and longest crash the Roblox site has ever experienced. As we mentioned previously, hackers are a very popular theme inside this platform. And due to this, there are many users claiming to be hackers. Thing is, just because most of them are wannabe famous kids, that doesn't mean there have never been any actual real hackers in the site. And the most famous real hacker would be an user known as 1x1x1x1. This user terrorized the Roblox site during its early days. He would enter random popular games, such as Crossroads, and cause as much chaos as possible. Many tales have been told about the rare events that could happen in your game if you bumped into this strange user. From heads raining from the sky, to textures being changed, from strange messages appearing on chat, to players being deformed in many bizarre ways. As time went on, a by then myth started to slowly become a reality, and this was that the person behind 1x1x1x1's account was actually Shedlitsky, a very famous Roblox worker. This would explain why 1x1x1x1 never seemed to face consequences for his devilish actions, basically never getting banned despite him taking place in many hacking events. Eventually, 1x1x1x1's account was banned, and despite that, to this very day, Roblox sometimes makes some form of tribute to this old legend that terrified Roblox players during its early era. Crossroads is one of the most known games in Roblox. Hell, whenever someone thinks what Roblox is, the picture of Crossroads is what usually comes into mind. This game was created by Roblox's staff member back in 2006, being one of the first games ever developed, and considered to be the first multiplayer game that Roblox has ever had. Well, thing is, that last thing may not be true. Crossroads was the first multiplayer game exist when Roblox was initially launched in mid-2006. However, you gotta take one tiny detail into consideration, and that is that Roblox existed way before it was officially launched, to the point that the first accounts ever made on the site are theorized to have been created as early as 2004. 2 years before Roblox would release, during this pre-release era, there were multiple games created for the site, most of them created to test the platform itself during its early development phase, and most of them weren't even multiplayer. However, one of them was indeed a multiplayer game, being the actual first multiplayer game to ever exist on the site. And this game was Rocket Arena. The reason of why no one ever remembers that this game existed before Crossroads did is due to another game that released on December 2006, and this was Classic Rocket Arena. Roblox re-released Rocket Arena on December 2006, and of course, whenever you ask someone when Rocket Arena was published, they say late 2006. When in reality, Rocket Arena's creation date is nearer of December 2005 than December 2006. There's a lot of interesting information from this early era of Roblox, to the point that an iceberg solely with mysteries about it could be done.
You guys... Yeah, I'm fine, Bear. I'm gonna... Bear. It's Bear. It's... People just hacked my account. You know, that was actually pretty smart. It was a pretty smart thing. I shouldn't be so trusting. I can make a new...
Roblox's player base is, by the most part, innocent children. And because of this, many adults have taken advantage of the innocence most of players have for their own gains. Since it's due to this kindness that, on 2022, one evil user managed to get over 10,000 accounts banned. 10,000 users who, victims of their innocence, lost their accounts forever and without a proper reason, and their only crime was trusting people. Being by far one of the worst incidents to have ever happened on Roblox, the Crosswoods incident was the waking up call of many young users on this site. On July 17, 2022, many small Roblox streamers were visited by a bunch of users who, with not so great intentions, asked the streamer to play a game called Crosswoods. What the streamer didn't know is the real nature of the game. Since this seemingly innocent Roblox experience was actually the latest creation of a very disgusting and sick individual, and the people telling them to play that game were actually his pals, collecting victims to test Client Error's newest invention. But what actually happened if you were unfortunate enough to join Crosswoods? To understand how this game operated, we first need to know what, and how, a Roblox moderation bot works. Roblox has millions of users joining daily, and of course, is kinda impossible for a human to moderate and make sure the rules are always being followed. Due to this, Roblox created bots in order to fulfill the moderation tasks. These bots are triggered once certain blacklisted words are detected in chat, and upon being triggered, they will punish the offender with a punishment which depends on the amount of words bypassed. Thing is, these bots are far from perfect, and Client Error knew that. Crosswoods basically forces the player to bypass many words many times without the player even knowing it. triggering the Roblox moderation bots and causing the instant and permanent ban of the account. Despite Crosswoods' terrible nature being discovered relatively soon, 10,000 accounts were still lost. The incident was so big that Roblox is currently preparing a lawsuit for the damage he caused. Even if client error is banned and will face real consequences for his actions, or even if his game is currently deleted, do not comfort yourself too much, since in more recent times, many other games that use the same banning system that Crosswoods had have appeared, banning even more innocent accounts in the process. So even if Crosswoods and client error are both gone from Roblox, their disgusting legacy still persists. As we mentioned previously, Roblox's player base is in a bigger part children. But just because of that, doesn't mean that there are many adults out there who also like to play Roblox during their free time. And there's nothing wrong with that, people should just play whatever game they please during their free time. But thing is, some of those adults tend to do certain things that could endanger the innocence and well-being of the younger players. And condo games are the greatest examples of that. Condo game is a term used to refer to those Roblox games that have elements not directed for a child, basically potentially exposing children to adult content. There are many cases of parents who, after leaving their children unattended with Roblox, have come back only to discover that the avatar of their kid was being subjected to things that could easily traumatize a young impressionable kid. These types of games were, of course, prohibited from Roblox, and many other popular games even entered in controversy for facilitating the creation of this content. Nowadays condo games in groups are mostly hidden, and is very rare to find them by accident. But still, one question has been left on air. Roblox has mentioned many times their desires of becoming into a virtual metaverse, where people all ages could do whatever they please, including dating. If this ended up happening, condo games would then become legal in the site, endangering an already established very young player base. Regardless of what your opinion of condo games is, always remember that dating in a virtual space is cringe. As I mentioned previously, hackers have always been a popular topic inside the Roblox platform, but despite that, truth is that this trend reached its peak of popularity around 2017, which was also the year where the myth community was starting to gain attraction. To make it short, being a creepy user in 2017 was seen as the coolest thing ever. And due to this, you had tons of wannabe hackers and wannabe myths entering many games, and once in there, they would start acting quote-unquote creepy in order to scare, or attempt to scare, the users on their game. Because the idea of a hacker for this wannabe creepy people was that hackers were evil users who acted scary and wanted to delete your account. When the reality was much more simpler, yet darker. Truth is, a real hacker couldn't care less about deleting your account. Hackers, just as any other human being doing something they know, want profit. The profit comes from the items of the account, and even sometimes in your personal data. Most of users with Robux have their email, phone, and even credit card linked to their Roblox account. Being these things the ones a hacker can use to steal real money from you, either by stealing your money themselves or selling your data to someone else. Now that we have grasped the actual danger of a real hacker, let me tell you about what may have been one of the most dangerous Roblox groups to join back in 2017. Real skilled hackers will often create their own exploits. And of course, these exploits have to be tested before being put into use, and this is where the protagonist of this entry appears. This group, and especially their only game, was believed to be a place where many hackers would share their fateful creations. Basically not only exchanging, but also proving, the capability of their scripts to hijack other accounts. As time went on, Prove It ended up having another very different use than the one it was intended by their creators. This game, which was already empty of any real hacker, started to gain a dark reputation due to the hypothetical events that took place in there during its early years of life. As a result, Prove It became a place where many fake hackers and people who were interested in myths would arrive and use as some form of meeting room. And not only that, but this place also was said to be directly involved with other huge myths of the time, such as Jane Doe and John Doe. As time passed and the myth trend died, this game and group became a forgotten anecdote from an everyday more distant past. Myths and legends are very common in Roblox, but you'll be surprised to know that these have been around way longer than you may believe. Even if they reached their peak of popularity in 2017, truth is that stories about mysterious Roblox users were being made as early as 2008. And the proof of this is Melvin. Melvin may be one of the earliest myths ever done in the Roblox site, having been scaring players for 16 years. And to this day, some claim that Melvin cannot be a myth, since back then myths were not a thing. And because of that, it had to be a real event that at some point took place inside of Roblox. There are actually two stories revolving Melvin. But thing is, one of them was done by a pretty evil guy who was outed as someone who would make up stuff to get attention and money. So I won't be telling that story here. Instead, I'll tell you the same story players used to tell each other back in 2008. The original Melvin legend. Melvin was a normal kid who enjoyed playing Roblox a lot. He became a well-known and respected member of the then smaller community of Roblox. And as a result, he was pretty well known by most players back then. Tragically, Melvin passed away sometime in 2008. The sadness caused by Melvin's passing would be short-lived. And instead, fear would take its place. Many reports started appearing in which a shaggy accessory using a transparent gray texture appeared in certain games. Thing is, the shaggy accessory was one of the items Melvin used to wear. And as a result, people started to theorize that Melvin was still in Roblox, and somehow, his essence, or what was left of it, had materialized inside of Roblox as a transparent shaggy accessory. As time passed, this accessory stopped appearing in games, and people assumed that Melvin's soul had finally moved on from this reality, disappearing for good this time. As I already mentioned, there's a second story which expands a lot the concept of Melvin, and even I have to admit that it's really an improvement over the story I just told you. Still, because the author is a criminal, I'd rather just inform you of its existence, so you check it out if you want. This entry makes reference to an ongoing issue Roblox has been experiencing for a long time, and the potential terrible consequences it could have on the platform. For those who don't know what a bot is, bots are accounts which are not controlled by anyone. These accounts are programmed to perform certain tasks, like recollecting or grinding, with the goal of obtaining limited items that are later sold in the hidden market of Roblox. Unlike a normal player, who needs to stop playing to take a break, eat, sleep, etc. Bots can be in-game for entire days, performing the same activity over and over again. And not only that, but some bots are actually programmed to become aggressive if someone interferes with their task. It won't come as a surprise to learn that playing with bots is not fun. They are basically NPCs who don't react to anything, who are not even really playing the game, but doing another completely different task. In the best case scenario, you'll be just bored. But if the bots in your game are advanced enough, then they may actively ruin your game if you simply are lucky to win too much. Bots are reported every day, every time in more games. In some cases even being 90% of the players inside one experience. In case of this issue not being dealt with by Roblox, there is a concern that one day, these bots will surpass the amount of real players inside the platform, no matter the game or the time you play. A cold machine with no life on the other side of their screen will be waiting you to play. In the past entry, we talked about how bots are used to gain limited items inside many of the most popular Roblox games. And now, I'll tell you about what these items are actually used for. Roblox is an extremely popular platform, and the amount of items it has is literally uncountable. Thing is, some of those items, either for the exclusivity, history, or creator, are way more valuable than others. And when I say they are valuable, I really mean it. Because in the Roblox marketplace, there are items that people are willing to pay thousands of dollars to get. Thing is, selling items for real money goes against Roblox's terms of use. But of course, that wouldn't stop players. For a long time now, in certain pages outside Roblox, a black market of items has been running, in which players exchange items for real-life currency. This market is its own thing, therefore, getting scammed or stolen in these places is extremely possible if you are not careful enough. Some will question that. How is it possible that Roblox hasn't discovered its existence? Well, that's the thing. Roblox knows it exists. Roblox cannot actively support these black markets, since it would damage a ton its own reputation to support a system that actively breaks their own terms of use. But regardless of that, these black markets increase a ton the demand of Robux in order to acquire certain items to sell, and also motivates developers to create new items that could obtain certain value due to their unique designs. The existence of this market is another unsettling side of Roblox, a platform that, rarely enough, is supposed to be for children. If you've been around long enough, you'll remember MeepCity. MeepCity was, on its time, probably the single most popular game in the entire Roblox website, being the first Roblox game ever to achieve the impressive milestone of 1 billion visits, and also being the first Roblox game ever to have 100,000 players inside their servers at the same time. This game is a social hangout which allowed players to participate in mini games, customize houses they are given, obtain items, and participate in all sorts of roleplay activities. Thing is, there used to be a feature which represented extremely well the problems that Roblox has as a children's platform. a feature that allowed players to create meetings hosted on their houses, in which anyone could join. At first, it seems like a good idea that incentivates a lot the social aspect of the game. Thing is, not long after parties were added, some of them started to devolve into the so-called Golden MeepCity parties. And these were, well, most of these parties tended to be filled with explicit material that should not even exist in a kid's game. Basically, the holy grail of every children's seeker out there. And what did Alex Neutron, creator of MeepCity, do to stop this terrible problem?
Nothing.
You know the situation is bad when Roblox themselves are the ones who take down your game. MeepCity somehow reopened even after all the drama, with the party feature removed, of course. But still, the fact that a game like MeepCity, which despite being the most popular one, actively and blatantly exposed your children to adult content, shows a harsh reality. Your children are not safe in Roblox. This may be one of the most bizarre events to have ever took place in the early era of Roblox. Ruth Calls 911 is the name of a game that was at some point in the Roblox site. This game quickly became infamous in the community for its disturbing nature. As many players from the time have stated, when joining Ruth Calls 911, you would appear in a complete dark area, and all you would be able to see was a black screen. Because of this, not many got to discover the bizarre nature of the game. But thing is, if you happen to stay there for a couple minutes,
What's your emergency?
an audio would start playing. This audio was a 911 call, in which an old woman could be heard asking for help. She was afraid of an unknown man who was trying to get inside of her house. As the call continues, the elderly woman mentions that she cannot longer find the man, and shortly after, a terrible gut-wrenching scream can be heard, and right after that, the call suddenly ends. When I first heard this audio, I thought it had to be fake, mainly because of how useless the 911 operator was. But sadly, the call is very much real. The elderly woman who made this call was Ruth Price. For a long time, many believed this call actually caught Ruth's final seconds of life, who was supposedly murderer right after the call ended. However, this is fake. Ruth was assaulted, and the suspect tried to kill her, but she managed to fight off the assaulter, and died 15 years later on 1994. Still, by the time this game was made, Ruth's real demise wasn't known, and people thought she had actually perished then and there, so even if she survived, that doesn't make the creator of this game look any better. Roblox just has its types of weirdos, you know? Some are creepy, others are down bad. If you've been on the internet for long enough, you'll know the game Sad Satan. This was basically a game that could only be found on the dark web. Due to the explicit material, tons of it straight up illegal to even possess, that contained inside it. For many years, many users have gone to the darker side of the web, looking for this illegal game, and see for themselves how disturbing it truly is. Most of them regretting their actions later. Well, what if I told you that you can actually play this game in Roblox? The name of the game is Ankrak, and is almost an exact replica of. Of course, this alternative version has been toned down a lot, removing all the gore images, child, and more forms of illegal material that could be found in the original. Despite that, the game still presents an extremely disturbing appearance, which has caused a couple of users to report feeling bad after playing it. You can try the game if you want, but we warned, you are not in for a pleasant experience. If you know anything about Iceberg type videos, you'll know we take into consideration 3 elements of each entry to know in what layer of the iceberg they deserve to be. These 3 elements are how known, how real, and how disturbing they are. The more known, real, and innocent an entry is, the higher into the iceberg it goes. Well, picture this. An entry so disturbing, so wrong, so awful, that despite being a 100% real thing that has been proven many times, and one of the most known aspects, still made it into the bottom of the iceberg, solely because of its dark nature. A case you've heard before, and it doesn't really matter how many times it's been called out. As a video game platform whose target audience are young children, Roblox has been the working site of a not-so-young type of audience, who, with much more disgusting intentions than just playing games, have used this site to satisfy their sick desires. Lonely adults who, behind a seemingly innocent character, have tricked children into becoming their friends and obtaining more information about them, with the hopes of meeting them in real life, and ruining their childhoods. These types of cases, whose amount only seem to grow with time, have shown the worst side of Roblox, one that is willing to protect these sick individuals, allowing them to communicate with children, letting them to keep their accounts, sometimes even after being caught by the law, ignoring the evidence being shown, sometimes just because they don't like the messenger who is spreading it, forgetting what their priority should be, making sure the kids are safe when playing Roblox. But maybe that's because that's not the real purpose in their minds. Maybe, just maybe, this platform has the sweet money up front and the safety of your kid as a second dish that may or may not be discussed later. Ma_bucket, Mr. Obvious, Kofi Kelligish, Epic Critical, Fave, Kaneko Kitten, Ribs, or Jaden, were all many important users, figures kids looked up to, that turned out to be children seekers. And these are only a bunch of the most well-known cases, cause that's the thing. Not only there are way more, but these are just the known ones. Who knows how many degenerates out there were able to get away with it? Just because there wasn't a hero doing Roblox's job then and there. I don't care how many times the same words have been spoken. It's still not enough. since Roblox hasn't done anything to fix it. Please, don't let your children unattended when playing Roblox, because you never know with who they are playing with, and you better care to keep them safe, because I assure you Roblox won't. This entry makes reference to a theory that, if this site keeps on going, will become pretty much a reality. The theory of the virtual graveyard claims that, due to the great number of players, most of the users behind the many different accounts are dead, and their offline accounts are the last iota of their beings in this world. Even if this theory is not necessarily real at the moment, it is in fact something that is predestined to happen. Roblox doesn't have plans of shutting down in a near date, and judging by the number of players and money it manages, I'd be surprised if it actually stopped anytime soon, and by soon, I mean anytime in the next 100 years. As time passes, those players who made their accounts during the early days of the site will eventually pass away. Maybe due to an accident, illness, or just natural causes. Because if 100 years actually pass, the idea that a huge part of the accounts belong to deceased people doesn't sound that crazy anymore. Picture this: offline accounts that belong to people from another time period, who lived their entire lives and died before you even created your account. A graveyard that displays the remains of players from centuries ago, in the form of their abandoned accounts. A virtual museum, or better said, a virtual graveyard, where each account is a deceased person, and each profile, a grave, is a bit disturbing to think about. That maybe, just maybe, while you were innocently making your account as a child, you were inadvertently designing your own tomb. If you've been playing Roblox for a while, it is more than probable that you have seen an error message. These are messages that appear whenever something has gone wrong during your playthrough, and that often result in you getting kicked from the experience you're in, sometimes even from the entire site. There are multiple error messages you can face when playing Roblox, some rarer than others. Here are some examples of errors you can face when playing. Error 522. This error appears when the user you're trying to join has left the experience while you were attempting to join them. Error 528. This error occurs when you are trying to join a full server. Error 600. This error will appear if you are banned from an experience. Error 769. This error takes place whenever a teleporter inside a game doesn't work, failing to redirect you anywhere. Error 771. This error happens when the player tries to teleport to a server that is no longer available. These are some of the most well-known error codes you can find in a server. But the thing is, there are also some error codes that are way stranger. Error 273. This error will appear if your account joins a game while you're already in one, meaning that there's someone else playing with your account. Error 274. This error happens when the game you are playing gets deleted while you're still in Error 0. This error occurs when you fail to pass the authenticator, basically meaning that you have not been successfully identified as the legitimate user of your account. These final errors are already pretty disturbing to find, but thing is, for a long time, a myth has been circulating the Roblox site. This myth is about a secret error message that can appear if terrible circumstances are met while you're playing. You are alone in your house during the night, playing quietly in the dark to your favorite Roblox game, when suddenly, this happens. Hi there. I wanted to leave a message here to again apologize for my extremely mediocre upload schedule. I'd like to inform that my poor performance making videos is caused by me having other two hobbies I really like doing aside making YouTube content, and as a result, I tend to always leave some of these hobbies a bit abandoned. But worry not, I have two videos planned, one already in the making. One discussing the villains we have seen in some of the most popular Roblox games, and other comparing both very interesting characters that have the same function inside their respective games, but one of them doing it a bit better. So, that would be all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and good night.